Not bad. Not bad. Is this
good
gonna get me high?
No. So today we're gonna start talking about different paths.
Yes. What's Gates of Heaven tea?
Gates of Heaven, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I can hook you up. I know the guy.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. I think one of the common questions that's asked to me is when they see us do our Sensao stuff. So they want to know, am I doing performance? Am I doing competition? Am I doing fitness? Am I doing combat? And so I try to impart my wisdom.
Right.
So what's your thought? Have you run into the same thing?
Right. Well, many years ago, many things happened in my life that I decided I'm just gonna do the world trip thing and go out and see what Kung Fu is all about. And as we were talking about it, I found a lot of different paths.
Yeah, because
So-
when I trained in China at Tago, the big monastery school, everyone see the pictures of thousands of students always trained. You know, we did no Sensao. It was all 7.5-hour day classes, but they were, you know, and I was old then. I couldn't imagine doing it now, but it was all exercise oriented.
Yeah.
Jump kicks and stuff like that. And it was great. It was great for that time. I was much younger, so it was cool. But it wasn't hand-to-hand combat.
Well, that's the biggest community actually in Kung Fu. I think it's the fitness community. And fitness has a lot to do with achievement. I'm not a competitive guy. I'm not close to being competitive, but I achieve. Fitness is another achievement. It's an achievement of health, both mind and body. Right?
I agree. And being in the fitness business for almost 30 years, actually 30 years, I've traveled a lot of places, England, Russia, and I you know, fitness is great, but I always say it's that first step.
Yes.
You know, and it's great because you physically have to get your body in condition
Yes.
to be able to perform Sensao.
Right.
You have to be able to do it. Is it 100% required? I don't think it's 100% required, but it, you know, you don't want to, you know, throw someone and throw your back out at the same time. So what I've learned is if you can apply the fitness component, you just got to know when it's a little too much. If your class is an hour and you spend an hour on fitness, then you're probably not doing a combat class. Sensao is different. It's interacting with another individual. Some people say, oh, no, you're learning how to kick, so you're learning combat. It's like, well, that's a part of it. That's not Sensao.
Well, if I'm doing jumping jacks, I'm not gonna jumping jack my guy to death.
Come on, how cool would that be, though?
I know. Go underneath my armpit.
Wait. If anyone can pull it off, you can. And make it look good.
Jumping Ron. But you know, fitness is what I've always said is if you can't run away from your attacker, then you gotta learn martial arts.
Yeah.
So fitness is the first step.
Yeah.
You know, when people say, I get this a lot. I wanna go to the gym, but I gotta lose weight first.
Yeah.
What the f?
Like, what is that concept?
Sorry,
that
my
makes
French.
No sense. Yeah.
That doesn't make
that
sense.
didn't sound French. I
Right,
like
but
it though.
Fitness, fitness is ginormous. Tai Chi, you know, doing forms, doing your weapon forms. Those are all drills, rolling, jumping, you know, hitting yourself.
I still today is, you know, maybe I'm a little biased by this. I love martial arts fitness component. In China, and we had to, you know, run up to Bodhidharma's cave. You know,
Do you have to cut your arm off?
oh no, but I had to stop. It was just like this the whole time.
Well,
or
like,
Wudong.
Well, like I said, if I'm there, I'm gonna get one of the young Shaolin guys. I'm gonna take him and I'm gonna ride him. I'm gonna go, come on, you know, I'll teach you a lesson afterwards or whatever.
Why didn't I do that?
I don't know. You're bigger than I am.
I should
They
have
probably go,
I'll
oh,
probably
big
do two.
American.
I'm
get
probably
away.
two.
Yeah,
I'm
probably
probably
two. Oh, okay, two. The next thing from fitness is performance.
Yeah.
Right.
Because performance is still on the art side.
Right. Exactly. It is the art now. So, I mean, what do you think about performance?
Well, I think it's beautiful.
Right.
I think it's beautiful, and I think
Those
that.
guys are amazing athletes.
Sorry, I'm
Jeez.
gonna have to give you a little credit on this one. You can often confuse people, and I'll tell you why you can confuse
I
people.
confuse people. Yeah, because I'm
Probably on more than one-
Chinese Spanish.
Probably on more than one level you confuse people.
Sweet
but
and sour taco.
From a martial arts standpoint, if I was an arrogant person and I watched you do Sensao, and I'd be like, oh, that's just performance. But I've been hit and thrown around by you, and I know the amount of force that you generate, but you make it look good. I don't think I'm more, boom, and you're like, boom, and it looks like you want to film it and go, this is what Kung Fu is,
Right.
you know? And
Well, thank you.
I think the performance, if you watch like the Chinese wushu, like I had a Chinese, American wushu guy. He was on the national wushu team, would come in and train with us. And I'm watching him move and he's just beautiful. Like when I say his movements are everything, the balance
It's
and control.
super athlete.
And then he turns and looks at me, he goes, Sifu Gus, but we don't fight.
Right.
He goes, I know that I don't do what you guys are doing.
That is
out there."
performance.
And he knows it is performance. But watching him and watching someone like you, the only difference between you and him is that you're looking like him doing it on the SOV or someone like myself.
Well, I've been doing this since 7 years old, so 43 years now, and I don't know anything else. But Sifu Gus and I see these amazing athletes do performance. These what's the one where they're jumping off in Las Vegas all the time?
Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil, stuff like that. If I could grab those amazing athletes and teach them Sansao, they would be so badass.
That's the way I feel when I'm in China, when I'm in Wudong and I'm watching these beautiful, graceful
Beautiful.
movements. I'm like,
no, punch at them.
Exactly. So a lot of people don't know. They see this performance, they see these graceful movements, and people have often said something about the village the whole time. How could something so beautiful be effective? And
You're kidding?
I go, I don't understand that concept, but we've had people come in, and we've had that said for a long time in our school. How could it be so beautiful and effective at the same time?
Right.
And I would always say, but you've never seen my brother run.
I'm beautiful.
And effective.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about performance, which is great.
Right.
Now let's talk about another subject: competition and sport. You know, in a competition, you have a referee versus in the street, like you've dealt with and like I've dealt with. No one's trying to take your life in a competition.
Right.
You know, you may run into the occasional psychopath every once in a while. I go, but the reality is overall, it's a community that just says, I want to compete against you.
Right.
Versus in Sansao, generally people are trying to take you out.
Right. You're taking combat. Now you're adding rules, and you're adding the concept of winning instead of surviving. So, again, also competition is the most brutal training you could do. I don't like that kind of training. These people who do competition, I admire them wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Because they go through hell.
And with that being said, there's a lot of guys who I've trained who are competitors. I wouldn't want to take punches and kicks from them.
Oh, heck no.
Because they know how to hit.
They're gladiators.
Yeah, they know how to say, we're going to keep going no matter what.
Right.
You know?
Me, I'm going to go punch, run away, get in my car, run you over, go in reverse, run you back over again, take the valet, have them run you over.
Well, and I also say to my students, I say, remember, this is not a competition. Your goal is not to go out and get into fights.
Right.
Actually, what I've learned about Sansao, and this is where we get a little bit deeper into the emotional and spiritual side, is that it really teaches you who you are.
Yeah.
Like, competition teaches you as well, but I always feel like from Sansao to fitness, it's a more watered down version of tea. Like, if I'm doing Sansao and someone's throwing a punch at me, and I don't feel comfortable, or we're doing a bull in the ring kind of concept and you have 3 people on top of you and you have to learn how to fight them off, those feelings are different than having someone who's the #1 fighter in the world coming at you and you know that there's a referee. I can just tap out and be done.
Right.
But in Sansao, you don't get that luxury.
Right.
In performance, there's none of that.
Right.
So I can fall on stage and people are like, oh, he fell. And in fitness, it's not going to matter. In fitness, as long as you're sweating, you're doing good. Because I had a martial artist one time tell me, she trained over a decade, closer to 2 decades, and they were told never to make contact. So then what are they training? What are you, in your thoughts, what are they training? I had my own thoughts, but I don't want to put them on camera.
Well, that's...
Okay, notice the look on his face. He said it.
I'm trying to say this without, it's just a cake without icing. It's a cake without, you can't
Drinking
eat it.
beer with no alcohol?
Yeah, it's just...
I mean, I don't drink,
it's
but
yellow water.
unless you see me in Las Vegas. The reality at the end of the day is, and they need to know this, to do combat, you're going to feel
Pain.
Gonna feel pain. You're gonna get hit. You're gonna get thrown around, and that's how we know it works.
Right.
Right. And you're gonna do it enough times that you don't have to think about it on the street. It's just part of your reaction.
Right. Kung Fu combat.
Here's-
Now, there's several different things that they think that is combat.
Ooh, this is the one I want to talk about. Yes.
Okay.
You want to start?
No, you start.
Okay.
You start.
So here's my pet peeve.
I'm getting lightheaded. What is
The
this
tea
stuff?
isn't working.
I'm getting lightheaded.
So one of the things that when I watch people, like we make contact. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We learn to control our opponent with pain.
Yes.
So our partners are going to move to help us with timing, distance, rhythm, and flow, right? And so one of my pet peeves when an instructor's out there, and there's nothing wrong with this, it's just not our way of doing it, which is not sensao. If a person's doing like kind of rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat, and a person on the other end is just not, just kind of, it's like getting hit with a machine gun or something like that.
Right.
So my thing is that you're not learning how to manipulate the body when you do that.
Right.
You're just learning to do a set of strikes. There's nothing wrong with that, and not that there's nothing that says that would never work in a street.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it works in a street better for a specific person.
Yeah.
The rat-a-tat-tat,
Right.
right? If you're a big guy and you're plowing through people like that, then, but if you're a smaller person or a female who has to hit a bigger guy, I think you would have to know about the anatomy of the body a little bit better.
Of course.
I just think a series of fast strikes, I just think, have a harder time working.
Right.
And I've worked with different styles of martial artists, and I would always pose this question. Yeah, it hurt, it just didn't stop me as far as a fighter, and our rule is if you hit me and didn't hurt me, you missed. Yeah, because, and it has to be random.
Yes.
The cool thing I've gotten, people have written in or they've told me, say, you know what, I like that you guys do it random. That's something I have to add to our system because they are so regimented. Movement number 42 is this, movement number 48 is that. And he goes, it seems like you guys just whatever the person throws. I go, well, isn't that how street fighting is?
Yes.
You're never going to know what they're going to throw. They're not going to tell you. That would be cool, though. If you could do that.
I will do rhino.
It's like, whoa, before you throw the punch, throw a left.
Yeah.
That would be cool to do, but it's not realistic.
No.
And what I like about Sensao, and one of the reasons why I absolutely love it is that it is, and it's not extreme.
Yeah.
It's not extreme. When you do multiple fighters, no one in the group's trying to kill you. But the idea is they do have to put pressure on you. And whoever's watching the instructor, it really has to say, no, you got to put a little bit more pressure on, or that's a little too much. Just enough so the student can understand how to use the tools, because safety is hugely important.
Exactly.
And people wonder in the village, why don't we have a lot of injuries? And I said, we don't have a lot of injuries, and we go really hard. I had a master one time who goes, you guys are swinging swords and sticks and hitting each other and throwing each other around, and no one's getting injured. I go, but that's the training. The training teaches them and prepares them for those scenarios.
Yes.
And that's what I love about Sensao. Is that
yeah.
it has to be prepared.
Right.
You have to be prepared.
It's not a two-man form, it's not a drill, stuff like that, where it's like, oh, we must benefit each other. Even though one is attacking and one is defending,
Right.
or vice versa, both are learning immensely crucial stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? How to move, how to this.
Yeah.
If SOV didn't know what he was doing, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
And frankly, we would be very sad.
Be sad.
And then we have to find another SOV.
I think
we have to grow another one.
You know how long it takes?
I know!
This
Jeez.
one's 34 years.
I'm so sorry. It took you that long to plant it.
Exactly.
And put it like this, and
And then
smack him a couple of times.
Yeah, all the prototypes were broken before he walks in, and it's just great.
He's off the camera, by the way. And he's looking at us right now.
The Village SOV, LA SOV on Instagram.
Right. Fan club.
Yes. So I think, and the cool thing about it is I listen to people who say, from doing Sensao, from doing the combat, I'm much more calm. I don't fly off the handle. Like, it gives you also another level of responsibility, because with a partner, if you're my workout partner, I can hit you, throw you around, but I can't injure you, because without you, it's like growing another SOV. It's hard to do, because then people aren't going to work out with you because you're reckless.
Well, what you do is form without you.
Exactly.
Like this. And when I see people going, okay, show me Kung Fu, and they're doing form.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's awesome. Now show me Kung Fu.
Because what I've learned about, it's interesting when I've talked to so many different martial artists and I've watched people do two-man forms, which is not something I think I have the timing to do. It's so good. My friends who've done two-man forms they're just awesome. They really are awesome. But The problem is it doesn't take into consideration how you feel. And Sansao always take into consideration how you feel. It's going to affect the way you block. It's going to affect the way you strike. It's going to affect the way you evade. It's going to affect the way you take a person down, throw a person, the way you feel, not based on what you know. If I know a routine, like if I'm doing our blocking drill, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna do it faster. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna do it faster. Now, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. But when it's coming random, there's 3 people coming. Is really your information has to supersede everything that you know, and it goes to how you feel. That's why it has to be Sansao has to be so ingrained. That's why you have to practice it so much.
Because I feel like two-man form is this. How are you doing?
Fine. How are you?
No, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say greetings, my friend. That is how I feel two-man form is. It's like it really, I think it's detrimental.
Yeah.
I think it's detrimental. Now, if you are able to compartmentalize that and say this is just for fun and fitness and it's a dance, great. But don't regard that as combat. To wrap things up, do understand whatever path you're doing in Kung Fu is still a path, and it's a good path. But understand which path you are in is very, very important. So, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you know what path you're in, I'm just doing fitness, I'm just doing Tai Chi with no combat, Tai Chi San Sao, stuff like that, and all those things, then you're not doing martial art, you're doing fitness. So just understand that. When you understand that, then you could start delving into the other paths.
And understand, we're not dinging any martial arts.
No,
you know?
no, not at all.
And because we've all experienced all those
Yes.
paths. And the reality is we have enough experience now. You know, we're talking about almost 90 years experience here.
Oh.
You know, I know, where's my cane? But we're talking about almost 90 years experience. And we've learned a lot on that path, you know, and some people are just starting their path, and we want them to have, 40 years plus of history, because there is a beauty in Kung Fu, and it doesn't start and end with just the Sansao or just the fitness. When you put all the pieces together, there's a beauty that's with it. So that's what we want to get across to people.
So please, like, subscribe, share, send us a video of your questions or forms. Anyways,
Come by!
What did I drink?
Okay, I've been looking at your face all this.